I'm going to go over the alternate ways to for the photo mode skips. That basically, for anyone who is a beginner that finds it tricky to do the photo mode clips or skips, they have an alternative. You know, if they want to get runs going but are hesitant because they find those particular skips a little tricky, or they keep messing up, then I wish I'd included these in the beginner's tutorial to begin with as the alternate versions, but actually they only came to my attention quite recently. So these were the skips that were used before the photo mode exploits were discovered. They're a bit slower, but they're very safe and should get beginners through these two sections that use the photo mode in the more up-to-date version of the run. I went through about 5 years of forum posts to try and find the specific person or people that found these skips to give them credit for it, but could not find specifically who it was. So I'll make mention that Oven Donkey and Thrill UK were probably either one of those or both of them discovered them, according to MatMat. That is probably accurate. But to be sure, if it ends up being that it was someone else specifically that discovered them, please do let me know, and I will update any credit that needs to be given as soon as possible. But with that said, let's get into what the methods are to not do the photo mode skips. So the first one in the run is right after the first jet ski. So here we are here. You've just done the first jet ski section and restarted your encounter. Fire that to get your combat speed just before you get off the jet ski. And then it's the same approach. You're going to the same spot that the photo mode skip takes place. Now, in photo mode clip, you jump off this edge towards the door. But to avoid doing that, you're going to run off the edge here. And he will grab this water. Pull yourself up with X, and he will drop in the water, and then just swim up into the next room. You can turn the camera to see where you are. Now the room will load, and you can just jump your way out of the floor. You might get a little stuck in the floor. He gets kind of like his legs caught in it, and you might have to kind of jump around and sort of wiggle out of it a little bit, but for the most part from that point you're safe. You just have to kind of unstick yourself by spamming X a little bit if that's the case. But you're basically, this is where you end up if you do photo mode skip, and you're good to carry on up these stairs and do the rest of the run. So that is the first one. At the top of these stairs, you can restart checkpoint to skip that in-game cutscene. Now, in photo mode clip, you would go to the left through this doorway, but instead we're gonna go right. So yeah, photo mode skip is over there, as we know, but instead we're gonna take a right. You lose combat speed. If you lose combat speed, you can jump to here. Now you're going to clip through this gate. This actually ends is the checkpoint for the end of chapter. So once you're through here, restart checkpoint. Hello, Izzy. Where it puts you, you want to do a 180 and follow this back, doing your jumps when you can, and jump the gaps because there's no combat speed. So it's just a straight path to this window here. Beautiful. And we're going to clip through here. There's a bit of a double wall going on here, so you might have to clip for a bit longer through than you would expect. But you can drop down onto the ledge, and he'll automatically grab it. Shimmy to the right as far as you can go on that ledge. You can see the chapter's already loaded in, but if it wasn't loaded in and it's white, you can still do a backwards jump and you will grab this. Even if you see that the environment has not loaded in there, it will still allow you to jump onto nothing. Once it's loaded in, just circle to drop down, and you are now in the Chapter 15 area. That is the wall that you would jump through with the photo mode skip right here, and you'd land on these stairs. And you're good to continue. If you do this method, you do not have to touch that door to load in Chapter 15 if you're going to do the puzzle. Like you would if you were doing the photo mode skip. You can actually just continue on. You do not have combat speed, so you do have to jump. This clip is the same as before, and you're good to carry on and go and do the puzzle, basically. If you use that method, there is no point to do puzzle skip either, because you do not have combat speed. So the main benefit of doing puzzle skip is to keep your combat speed through the whole thing into the next section. So there you go. That is it, guys. That is the 2 methods that beginners can use to avoid having to do the photo mode skips until they're comfortable with them. Bye.